right, the stream is starting. Hello, hello, hello.
Woohoo.
Here we go.
Hey,
What's going on, everybody? Welcome. All right, let's kick this thing off. Um, welcome everybody to our next cover reveal stream for September 2023. Hello. We're gonna be showing off this thing in like a minute. Thanks for being here. Um, be respectful. Last time folks didn't get what they wanted, and it was not gonna be doing that this time. But welcome. Glad you're here. In about a minute, we're gonna be talking about our new cover for Game Informer. Glad you're all here. Thank you for that Twitch sub, Leafeon. If you want to support the channel, you have Amazon Prime. That means you have Twitch Prime. You can support Game Informer by giving us that. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'm joined here by Wesley LeBlanc. Hello, Wes.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm excited to be here.
Marcus Stewart, how are you?
hey, it's a great day. New cover, right?
Absolutely. Speaking
Yeah.
of, let's go ahead and reveal this thing. It's 11 a.m.
We did it.
We did it. There we go. Our cover is Assassin's Creed Mirage, and
Woo.
it's gonna be
clapping.
pretty sick. Wesley and I flew to France, Bordeaux, France, to Ubisoft Bordeaux, and we were the first people outside of Ubisoft to play this video game. Yeah. So I'm just looking at chat react. I think there's a lot of Spider-Man fans that are not happy. But thanks for being here. It's a two-way street. We reach out to companies and publishers trying to make things happen, trying to make cover stories happen. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But what you can expect in every Game Informer cover story is exclusive reveals, brand new information about the game at hand. And that's what we have going on here with Assassin's Creed Mirage. Wes, we played the game for 2 hours. Overall thoughts, what do you think? What do we want to tease?
Yeah, so if you've been paying attention to Mirage, then you likely know that it's kind of serving as like a spiritual connector to the first Assassin's Creed that started it all in 2007. It's not quite a reimagining, not a remake. It's not even, the same characters or setting or anything. But this is a new Assassin's Creed game meant to feel almost like a throwback. Assassin's Creed is now an open world RPG series that takes, I don't know, I spend 100 hours in each of the 3 games that we have come out in the past few years. This is not going to be a 100-hour game. This will be maybe 20 hours, and it feels and plays a lot like old Assassin's Creed, but brought forward into 2023. So as a longtime fan, it's something I'm really excited for. If you've been exhausted by the RPGs, I think this is the Assassin's Creed for you.
Yeah, I have been exhausted by Assassin's Creed in the past. And it's funny, we've got a video going up tomorrow on the YouTube channel. Very in-depth about like what it's like to be the first people to play this game outside of Ubisoft. And specifically, Wes has this huge history with the series. He's played every single one. I was somebody who was in early and kind of got out as it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And so the fact that Ubisoft is taking it back to its roots for this entry, more focus on stealth, a smaller scale, the massive RPG elements that have kind of defined the last 3 games are largely not present. There are, of course, customization and in terms of your play style and stuff like that. But yeah, it is much more focused in scope. And I found that it felt a lot stronger. And grabbed me much quicker than the a couple of the previous games, and that's my personal taste. I know that a lot of people love, and I totally get why. They're really polished, massive worlds to explore. The last 3 were, but yeah, this is a little bit different. Kind of taking it back to the roots. It's set in the golden age of Baghdad, so their big focus is depicting Baghdad as as it truly was, based on history books, based on the art director grew up across the river from Baghdad, and has a lot of nostalgia for architecture and people and landscapes, and you know, he really, it seemed like he really had like a personal stake in depicting this world in a way that has often been exaggerated or just you know, completely um what's the word I'm trying to get at, by Hollywood. It's kind of been like portrayed in an incorrect light, and they're really passionate about, you know, portraying it in the correct historical context. And so yeah, it's the golden age of Baghdad. It's a very pretty place, art, and of course, you know, these a lot of bad people as well, because you know, we have to fight the bad guys in the game, so they're gonna be there. But and I mean that in terms of like the military occupants, that there's like, you're kind of going on these like, I don't think we got into whether it's assassins and Templars per se as the bad guys.
Yeah,
Um,
it's definitely not. It's still, it's going to be hidden ones in Order of the Ancients
yeah,
still.
that okay, that's what it is. Yeah, yeah,
Because
but
technically we don't have the assassins or the Templars yet, based
yeah,
on timeline stuff. We're still getting to that point.
yeah. So there's a lot of, you know, enemies to assassinate and that kind of thing. You got the crowd hiding and all that. But what I was trying to say is it does take place in this really beautiful and gorgeous landscape. But but yeah, so stay tuned to Game Informer magazine, the digital edition of the magazine. If you're a subscriber, will be going up later today. I believe, is that correct, Wes?
Yeah, it's going up later today if you're a
Great.
digital subscriber, and then yeah, the magazine will hit mailbox in a couple weeks. And in case you didn't know, you can now buy issues in GameStop. So if you're not a subscriber, or you are and you want to get extra copies, you can just go to your local GameStop and pick them up for $6, I
$5.99.
think.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, do that. Print subscribers, if you're an active print subscriber, your issue will be hitting your mailboxes in the coming weeks. Of course, head over to GameInformer.com/Assassin's Creed Mirage for everything to do with our coverage of the game. YouTube.com/GameInformer. We're gonna have some exclusive first look gameplay. We've got a really cool video going out tomorrow about, you know, what it's like playing this game. A lot of interviews, the whole 9 yards. Marcus, are you excited for all of our coverage? Any questions? Did we forget anything as our third party correspondent?
No, I mean, in general, I am excited for the cover. You know, Assassin's Creed is, I'm kind of like Wes, where I've played and beaten almost all of them, but I've had my ups and downs with the series of like, hey, I love it, and then I'm tired of it, and then hey, I love it again. It's an RPG, and then it's like, okay, I'm tired of that now, and I kind of want them to go back to the old ways, which is what Mirage is. So, like, especially in a year where there's been so many 100-hour games that I'm still personally trying to get through, the idea of a tighter Assassin's Creed is like right up my alley. And, you know, it's sort of like kicking off October, which is such a big month for releases. Obviously, Spider-Man, Mario, Alan Wake. So this to kind of be like the gateway to that, I think is fitting, especially because it got bumped forward and now it's coming out October 5th. So yeah, like I'm excited. Like I didn't finish Valhalla, so I've actually been like, I've had a nice break from Assassin's Creed for a few years now. So I'm kind of like the bar, the cooldown meter has refilled. I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready for like a new one of these, especially again if it's a smaller, tighter experience like the old games. So yeah, I've read our cover story, of course. I think you did a great job, Wes. I think there's some cool details like you mentioned before, and yeah, like all the other. I think the Assassin's Creed retrospective that Charles wrote is really fun too.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, it's like a very good refresher of the entire series, of like each era of the series, to kind of catch people up to like, here's where we started, here's where we are now. And it's just a fun snapshot of like, man, this series has really been kind of all over the place. It's been quite a roller coaster, just in terms of the narrative and just, you know, fan interest and just design wise. So I shout out to Charles for putting that together.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like I said, it's chock full of some great stuff, and excited for people to get in there and read them.
Yeah. Awesome. And as we wrap up, just kind of addressing, a lot of fans in chat of certain games. You know, I guess we kind of mentioned, we kind of talked to each other before we hit live. We were like, should we talk about more inside baseball, about like what goes into a cover story?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think there's a lot of people here who, it seems like a lot of people are stoked on Assassin's Creed. Other people are very disappointed it's not Spider-Man 2. Um, or whatever game really. We reach out to the recipe for a cover story for us is we really, the main priority is that we get a good story, right? And
Mhm.
and that could be a number of things. It could be, access to like a person, or access to a, exclusive hands-on that gives us like the chance to share our impressions with our readers. Sometimes we just get to, it's like, oh, we can interview this really fascinating person behind this series, or there's a lot of different things that go into a cover story that make it worth it. And we reach out to, I would say, if you can think of a game, we've probably reached out to them, and it's just a matter of, does our vision line up with what they want? Because at the end of the day, we are a journalism outlet and they are a game publisher, and those, it's always a dance, right? It's, how can we get this really interesting story that is valuable to our readers and the public at large, that has an interest in this space, and does that align? Does the publisher see value in that for themselves, right? And so it's an interesting dance, and so we often we reach out to, all sorts of games that you might not have even heard of yet that have been announced. It's Game Informer has been around for 30 years, and we utilize that to try to find the best stories possible. And that's one of the reasons we picked Mirage. We felt like it was a really interesting story. We flew out to Bordeaux. We got to go to the studio itself and really go hands-on, and see the game up close, in a way that, other games, maybe it just didn't line up for other games, right? That we wanted to do that for, and it just didn't. Maybe it was schedules. Maybe it was they've got other plans for their
even
side of
games
things.
even a series that we've done covers of in the past. 'Cause we did the first two Spider-Man games,
Yeah.
like 2018 and Miles Morales. But like I said, things change for even series that we've covered in the past. Just sometimes things don't line up, or their marketing plans or interests change. Like I said, sometimes it's not even.
Sometimes they're also just too busy. They're like, we got to finish this thing. I'm not saying
like
that's not the. I'm not saying that specifically for Spider-Man, but just that has been a reason that we've gotten in the past where they're like, we don't have time to do this. We literally have to be nose to the grindstone until we get this thing out the door.
Exactly. There's a lot of variables at play.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just gonna the Spider-Man fans in here. I'm just gonna say next month is not Spider-Man. I'm gonna save you the heartache. The game will be out. Typically, if the game comes out the same month, we typically, very rarely, in terms of like E3, sometimes it'll line up to where it's like, oh, this is like. Typically, what I'm trying to say is that we are very much trying to look at what's coming down the pipeline, and typically we aren't going to get a lot of new information for a game. If we drop our cover story and the game comes out a week later or 2 weeks later, we're not, at that point, we're kind of just like marketing for the game, right? And we're not really serving our audience. Like, all that information's out there, right?
Yeah, and it's no fault of Sony or anyone really.
No. It's just how things line up.
Plans, and we have our own plans, and like I said, sometimes things don't line up. So it's like, if they're doing what they want to do, and it's like that's fine.
Yeah. It
no one's at fault, basically. I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, it's just life, But thank you to everyone who did come, and I'm sorry if you were looking forward to Spider-Man. I'm happy to see a lot of folks interested in Assassin's Creed Mirage, in our cover story specifically. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff. We've got, looking at the slate of the rest of the year, we've got several big covers coming. I'm very excited. Some very interesting things going on behind the scenes. But yeah, thank you as always for being here. If you're here watching us on Twitch, give us a follow if you enjoyed the stream. Again, head over and grab a print copy in your local GameStop or a digital subscription. You can go to GameInformer.com/magazine for all that information. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for the stream. Follow the guys here. You can follow Wes at LeBlanc Wes on social media. You can follow Marcus at Marcus Stewart 7, and you can follow me, Alex, at It's Van Aken. Thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate it, and excited for a really cool month of coverage on Assassin's Creed. On top of we are entering the gauntlet, fellas. It's
The like fifth gauntlet of this
the
year.
fifth gauntlet of the year. But yeah, we've got a ton of game reviews coming, features, previews, the whole 9 yards. If you are watching on our YouTube, you'll see a lot of video reviews coming down the pipeline, as well as a lot of Assassin's Creed stuff. So it's gonna be a cool month. Really looking forward to it. Thanks everybody. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.